Morning everyone. It's a pretty chilly morning here in Perth, but anyway, it'd be great to get warmed up. So thank you for joining me with another session of Work With Me. Today I'm going to show you guys how to work your core muscles and your abdominals, showing you the exercises with a Fitball. This one's about 65 centimeters, but if you've got a bigger one or smaller one, that's fine too. If you don't have a ball handy, don't worry, just use a large cushion if you've got one, or just try and do it without any props, and I think you still get a good core workout. So just do as many as you feel comfortable. If you feel anything in your lower back, or any discomfort or hip tension, just modify it, and I'll give you some difficult and some easier options so you can go at whatever level works for you. So we're going to do most of the exercises on the mat, so you don't need to be up and down. So we'll just grab a mat or a space that's about 2 to 3 square meters. So we're going to lay down on our backs and pop the ball just under your calves, and we're just going to push it away until your legs are relatively straight. From here, you're just going to tuck your tailbone underneath and roll upwards. So you're going to hit as high of a plank as possible, and then melt down, squeezing down with your rib cage, and then rolling down all the way. So again, you're scooping through your tailbone and roll up. So this is actually a great progression from doing the roll-ups or the bridges from the floor. The ball adds a little bit more of an unstable component, so it makes you work your core a little bit more. And you're aiming to get as much segmental mobility as possible. So you want to try not to be as stiff as a board. You're trying to roll down and roll upwards. Really trying to separate your pelvis from your lower back, from your upper back and rib cage. So holding that plank a few seconds if you like, just to warm up through the glutes in your core, and then relax through your rib cage, and then slowly planting each spinal segment down at a time and relax. So usually I'll get people to do between 10 to 20, holding at the top and then melting down. So you will be feeling your bum working, your core, and a little bit of your legs as well. And you can use your hands out wide for more balance and support. So you shouldn't feel any of your lower back being sore here. If you do, just keep the movement to a smaller scoop and then lower, so you don't get too high and then aggravate that lower back if it's being painful. So once you've done this, if you want, this is a harder version, having your legs further out, so more the ball under more of your heels, and again that increases the instability as well. So having to really stabilize along the lever. And of course the easier version is bringing the ball closer into your body, and then you can kind of like just do tiny scoops. So that's your easier and your harder version here. So after we've done that, we're going to work on doing a little bit more lower tummy, working on that tiny crunch. So while the bridges warm your core up into extension, so your back goes upwards, now we're going to work on warming the core up into flexion. So we're going to kind of almost do these tiniest scoop. I'm kind of digging in with my heels and pressing into the ball against to my thigh, and I'm trying to roll upwards into a tiny ball, if you can imagine that. It's kind of similar to the happy baby, but this time I'm using my lower abdominals and my hips a little bit to try and achieve this curl. So if you find this quite hard, don't worry about doing the lift, just do a tiny hover like this, and make sure if you don't use your tummy, you will just end up just using your hips. So it's really important, this exercise, to try and really get your lower belly pulled in really tight, so that you're actually isolating your abdominals as well. And if this is easy, once you've done a few to warm up, try and go a little higher. So you're really trying to aim to get that tailbone off as much as possible. So it's always easier to almost swing upwards. So I always get people to try and slow it down as you lower. So that way you're working on your abdominals eccentrically. What you should also be feeling is that your lower back is stretching out. So as you're curling up, your lower back shouldn't be like stiffening up and making it really rigid. You want to try and keep the lower back loose, using your abdominals to massage that down. So up, real slow. If this is uncomfortable for you, you feel like you're doing this jerking movement, you can always put your arms up here, or if it's more comfortable like this, if you don't have the shoulder range. So you're just kind of stabilizing, using your lats a little bit to help you stabilize your lower back. That's okay to do as well, as long as you're not aggravating any other issues like your neck or your lower back. So see how you guys go. If you've got any questions or comments, feel free to message into there and I'll have a look. Hey Hazel, hey Chris, good to see you guys on. Okay, so that's there. Then what we'll do next is having your arms out wide. We're going to need this to stabilize, and you're going to go from one side to the other side. And as you do this, keep your knees quite close to your body so your legs don't go further and further out. Keep it nice and tight, and the ball sort of in contact with your body. And as you do this, I want you to make sure you're not just rolling without using your abs. Really pull your tummy muscles on and try and hold them in as you swivel. So as you're swiveling, you're using the side of your muscles in your abs here to pull it back in. So even when you release, you make sure that you keep going, rolling from one side to the other. So as you're rolling, you should be feeling at the extreme position. As you're all the way over here, your tummy muscles on the opposite side to where you're rolling to is working to stop you from flopping. So make sure that's pulled on tight. Now if this gets a little easy, you can actually start doing a pulse. So you're going to stay on the end as far as you feel comfortable to go, and then you just kind of do a little pulse. Now this looks so easy, but actually it's a lot harder than it looks. So you're going to kind of pull in, slowly down, pull in, slowly down, pull in, slowly down. So I would get people to try and do 10, even 20 pulses on one side. It's a really nice stretch on the opposite side of your back too while you're working your abs. So out, in, just trying to stay in that chair position, the 90-degree angle, and really draw in through your abs. As you pull in, then slowly release, but don't let go. So you're always working your abdominals. So that's the side ones that you're going through. Then the next one we're going to do is a little bit harder. I'm going to show you a couple of options for this one. The first one is going to be on the elbow prop like this. See how you're going, and I'll show you how to do it without the elbows if this is uncomfortable. So if you're grabbing your ball or your sofa cushion or whatever you've got, a towel, see if you can pull your tummy in tight to hold so your back doesn't sag down like that. Stay up proud with your chest, and then you're lifting the ball up. Lightly tap down and lift it up. So this is definitely working your legs, but it should also be feeling like your tummy is working. So this is the movement. If this is too hard for your neck, you can relax down here, put a pillow under your neck. Make sure your hands are next to you, and then pushing it up. To make it a little easier, if this is still hurting your back, put your bum under, your hands under your bum, or a rolled up towel under your bum, and then do the same movement. It'll be much easier because your back's now supported. It's not rolling up and down like this. So you can try this angle. Now if you find this is quite easy, here's another option. Take it out longer. So instead of up higher, take it longer. Okay, and in. So this is another option. Now this is like, oh yeah, still really easy. What you can do is add a lift. So long, lift it, lower it, and bend. This is again harder. Up, down, and back. Up, up, down, and back. Again, you can make this even more on your elbows. It's even more of a challenge. Up, down, and back. Down, down. And so the lower you go, the harder it will be. So give those ones a go. If you're feeling like, this is difficult, you can always set it as a challenge to keep working through, one level at a time. Hey, Amy. Hey, Brendan. Okay, so keep going with those ones. So again, if you're watching this later on YouTube, you can always pause and then do more reps if you want, or do a second set. So once you've done those ones, we're going to try doing more on your side now. So we're working your side abs. So popping your ball between your ankles again, go onto your side and lay down like this. So try and align your body so you're in a straight line from your hands all the way down to your feet. So this hand can be here for support, but if you want a challenge, you can put it on your hips. So I'll start with here, and then basically you're just lifting up. When you do this, try not to just use your hip, okay? See if you can really work on your abs to do the movement. So when you're lifting, you're trying to get the abs to come towards your ribs, okay? So ribs crunching to here. So it's not just a leg movement. You shouldn't just feel it like in the hip. If you do, then what you might want to do is maybe try and change the angle so your feet's turned out a little bit to take that front hip flexor out, and then try and do it on that angle and see if you get more, maybe a bit more butt activation to hold. But otherwise, that's basically just practice feeling that in your abdominals. So don't worry about how high you can lift it. Try and keep it a small movement. Okay, now this is a harder angle. So when you prop up onto your elbows and do the lift, it's much harder. So if you feel nothing laying down on your side, this is a harder option. because you're putting everything into a shorter angle, a shorter length, and then you're having to work it. It's like having your bicep lift. You know, it's harder to lift a really heavy weight in this shorter range than in a long range getting it from there. So this is already in a tighter length and you're trying to crunch and work on it that way. So that's one that you can work on. If you find that this is again quite easy, you can work on doing a little bit of a twist to it. So you can lift, twist, twist, pop it down. Lift, twist, twist, pop it down. Don't forget to lift through your rib cage too, so you're not sagging in like that. Try and really press your elbow into the floor and away while you do this. Lift, lift, twist, twist, down. You can add the twist when you're laying flat on your side too. So you can kind of lift. Oh, I'm gonna need my hand. Out, out, back, down. Up, twist, twist, and down. Okay, so there are some options for your obliques on your side. I'm gonna show you another one, which will be up more. So you're gonna stay on one elbow and the other hand is just going to be on the side next to you behind. Now you're gonna almost twist the ball so your legs are kind of on an angle upwards. Brace with your tummy and then lift the ball. So touch down and lift. So it's kind of like you're doing this kind of leg push on an angle, and you should feel this in your side tummy on the side that's up. So touch down and lift. Touch down and then your arms are just there to support you. If you guys have any questions or comments here, not feeling in the right place, feel free to just comment down there and I'll quickly check. So extend, bend, bend. And then of course guys, you want to pause and do this on the other side. I think I better check just to make sure everyone's okay. Hey cheese. Okay, so after that we're going to do some on your belly. So abs are not just working when you're on your back, on your side. They're also really important to support your back when you're on your stomach or into extension exercises. So even leaning back requires abdominals, you know. Okay, so popping yourself onto your belly. All right. So you want to be squeezing your butt muscles on and then draw your belly button up. And then start with having your hands on the ball in front of you. So what we'll start off doing is looking straight down. You're going to squeeze your shoulder blades back and down. Press slightly into the ball. And then relax and stretch it out. So you're squeezing your butt to protect this part here. And now we're talking about the top part of your body where you're squeezing your shoulder blades down and back, away from your ears. And then lengthen it out. So you should feel this all in that sort of mid back and above. And in your neck as well, kind of the back of your neck here. It shouldn't be painful, and if it is, then maybe you need to just relax your chin more further down. And you don't need to lift very high if this is hurting your lower back too. The alternative is putting a few pillows under your belly just to take that pressure off the back. So if this is sore even in this position, you can put some pillows under there or a towel. So then, once you've done about 10 to warm up, you can then keep going to squeeze that belly in. You're going to press in, hold, and now pull the ball in towards you while you're pressing in. And then lengthen. Make sure you're holding your abs on the whole time you're doing these exercises so that your lower back isn't collapsing forwards. So you're going to stretch up, push down, pull in, bending at your elbows, making sure your chin's still tucked in. So we're going to need all the muscles that I've talked about in my previous posture videos. So if you're finding this almost too hard, then maybe go back to doing some of the easier posture exercises without any props that I've done already. And then this can be something you can work towards, you know, even doing those other exercises 2 or 3 times a week is going to strengthen you up. And then once you find those too easy, you can then come back and try these ones. So there you go, you've got a little bit of a progression. So down, press, drag in, release. Down, press, drag in, release. The other thing you can also do with the ball is just stay in this position, push your shoulders back, don't move your body, and now just press into the ball. It's quite a hard shoulder one as well. It's a stabilizing one for your upper back. So little bouncies like this. And that's going to help to strengthen up that middle back and in your shoulders in that end range position. Now, if any of this is sore, of course, please don't do it. Just leave this one out and then, again, go back to some of the easier videos I've done in the past. All right, the last one I want to show you guys is a bit of a stretch and a strengthen as well on your side. So you can kneel like this and put one leg out, one hand on the ball, and then reach right over as you push the ball away, stretch, and then pull it back in and reach the other side. It's actually a strengthening exercise as much as stretching. So you're lengthening out into a nice curved arc, and then pull it in and reach and crunch, don't let go of your ball. So the whole time, see if you can keep your tummy tight, because when you keep it tight, it's going to be working even into a stretch position. So roll and then up and reach. So you don't let go of your abs the whole time. Try and do 10 on one side, and then because I need to be even, more stretch on one side. I can do the same on the other side. Now, if you're not comfortable kneeling, if this causes you pain when you're kneeling, you can actually just sit on a chair and then have the ball next to you and do exactly the same thing. So that's a modification if you guys get pain kneeling, okay? So keep tummy on tight, working on the side and up. If you find this is like really nothing, just work on just stretching it out. You can actually hold the ball and do a side bend and up. Now this one will be definitely a little harder because you don't get to use the ball to prop you up. So this is a second harder option. So you can up side, and of course if you're really strong you can actually try and aim for the ball to touch the floor next to you, and then crunch, and then the other side. Okay, and that's it for today. I think my time is up. So it's 15 minutes into this ab exercise. Again, guys, if you would like some of the exercise, come back and pause and watch and do it on the other side as well. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have an amazing weekend, guys, and I'll see you next Tuesday at 9 a.m. And have a great weekend.